Um, just wanted to do like maybe an hour before I head off to watch a movie. What have I been doing today? Hey, Lady Cherie, I have just been in bed, like reading Chad's old texts. I shared some of the text with y'all's. Some of it was really funny, and I was like, oh my word. I was trying to get to the end of our, or like the start of our, you know, text string, but we've been friends for 30 years. Not that we were texting for 30 years, obviously. We were friends before texting was a thing. So, hello, Martha. Um, thanks for the hearts. It's all love, BB. So yeah, I haven't cried, which is fantastic. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with crying. I cried plenty. But my best friend, my other best friend, has arrived from the Philippines. She arrived yesterday. Hi, Karina. Hi, Sammy. And so I told her I would love her to go to the Cinnabar with me. And this will be my first movie. I mean, I did watch one movie without him, which was Beetlejuice. But like, he was still around. Like, the possibility of watching a movie with him was still there, you know? But now, with his passing, like, there's no possibility. So literally, this is, I'm a little bit, excited, but also a little nervous. Hi, Bridgerton girly. I'm just sharing this a little bit before I talk about other stuff with the actual Lucala fandom and all that stuff. But I will say that I'm a little bit nervous. Not nervous. We're watching The Substance, the one with Demi Moore. But yeah, this is the first movie I'm watching without him, and the first movie that will really mark like the fact that I will never get to watch another movie with him. So it's weird. Hello, Ishra. Hello, Johari. Hi, Donna. So, yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping that Sam, who usually helps out, will be there. Because I want to tell her, I want to give her the link to my songs about him, because she always used to serve us. And like, I know it's going to be weird for her too, to see, me not with him, you know? Thank you, Dr. Shaz, for the Daily Heart Me, and for just saying, I'm so sorry, Phoebe. You know, thanks, Dr. Shaz. And you loved my song today. For those that may not know, I don't talk about adjacents often. I've stopped saying that I don't talk about adjacents, because I do, and I don't want somebody to be like, you hypocrite, you totally talk about adjacents. I do talk about adjacents once in a while. I just don't make them typically central to my content. However, today I was like, it's always funny to me when any adjacent tries to center themselves in the conversation. And so I wrote a song called Attention Starved. And so if you want to hear it, it is on my page. You should be able to see that it says Attention Starved on it. And it's just, the basic premise of it was how a person wants attention. And so if people post, then they post. They do a counter post because they want that attention. They want to be like adjacent to that fame. So that's what the song is about. If anybody wants to check it out, people have enjoyed it. So I hope you all enjoy it. If you want to check it out. At the end of the day, it's not even just a commentary on the adjacents, but it can be a commentary in general, because Ronnie had commented that this song could be true of many folks she said in the interwebs. So it is a possibility that, it is not just something that relates to an adjacent, but like it can relate to folks that just are wanting that attention. Thanks, Ronnie, for the Daily Heart Me. And I just just talked about your comment on my song. Thank you, Dr. Shaz, for the gift. And I will tell you, Dr. Shaz, like, your content, one of my favorites, because you're on it. Like, your attention to detail. Thank you, Anne, for the gift. Your attention to detail is amazing. And so I always tell people, like, are you following her? Because, like, I know that a lot of the content you put hi, thank you, Monica, for the gift. A lot of the content you put is for friends only. So I don't know what your method is. Like, do you follow everybody that follows you? Like, how do you decide who ends up being your friends so that they can see the content that you're making, that are friends only? Because your friends only stuff are like really, really interesting. Steph G said, "Hi, do we think Luke and the adjacent are together?" Based off of Dr. Shaz's evaluation of, I mean, basically, no. I mean, I don't know if you mean are together, meaning like they're still dating. I have no commentary on that. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to what people assume is a relationship there. But what I will say is that according to Dr. Shaz's review of like the location of the luggage, it doesn't match what terminal he would have needed to be at in order to be where she's assumed to be at right now. Mel says, hi Mel, how am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm just gonna be doing a quick little live for just like an hour. I'm probably ending this at like 4:30, maybe 4:40. Then I'm gonna get ready and I'm meeting up with my best friend. I'm actually picking her up, and we're gonna go to the Cinnabar, and it's the first time I'm going to watch a movie without Chad, which I mean, we're watching The Substance, which is like a horror flick, I heard. And so I don't expect to cry because, like, why would I cry at a horror flick? But if I do happen to see Sam, who is the person who always usually helps us out, I may cry because I may want to tell her. I would want to tell her he passed away. I would like to give her the link to the songs that I've written about him. So that would probably make me emotional, not the movie itself. But I'm glad that my friend is with me. Also, I'm back in communication with Chad's cousin, who is which was my former best friend. Thank you, Steph G, for the gifts. And I'm a little bit nervous to tell my best friend about that because I thought that was a face-to-face conversation because she might not be thrilled. Because of how things had ended previously, she's probably not happy. So I'll have to talk her through it. Dr. Shaz, if they message me and sound sincere. I love that, Dr. Shaz, because like I have started following people back. Like I used to not follow people unless they had content I wanted to follow. But now I've started to follow people back if I feel like I've had meaningful engagement with them. Even if they don't create content. Like if I mean, now that doesn't mean like I followed everybody that I've had meaningful contact with. It's not because I'm trying to not, but it's just sometimes I forget. There's just certain days that I'm like, oh, maybe I'll look today, like who's been talking to me for a while and who I feel comfortable to like follow back now. Steph G said on vacation. And Phillips says, hey, yo, how long y'all been in here? Hey, I'm Phillips. I think I've only been here for maybe 12-ish minutes, I'm guessing. Dr. Shaz says that wasn't her bag. And I loved how your evaluation of why the bag was not the bag. And also the other bag, the one that was making the rounds from the laterals, I guess, somebody from the laterals. I was like, dang. I mean, I thought that the luggage there looked different, but I was just waiting for you to explain why I could tell the difference between the luggage and feel like they weren't the same. But Ishra says she is way back in the past. I mean, there's good reasons why people believe so and have like probably their own receipts as to why to assume that. However, like yesterday I had someone comment on my page about like, oh, like he removed all the likes, and y'all know I don't care about likes, like whatever, right? But like I'm still interested if that was the case, but it wasn't the case. And so I had asked, like I had used that comment to ask people, is that true? Because I didn't want to go to her page. The problem was so many people went to her page and told me that was not true that I put down the video because I was like, okay, I don't want a bunch of people going now to her page because I'm trying to avoid giving those clicks and views. Thelma said someone posted they are getting married this weekend. Yeah, I heard. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but Anna, thank you for the gifts. I don't mean to laugh, but no. M. Phillips says, oh, I scrolled up, not very long. Woot. Hi, Saru. Dr. Shaz says the rumors are ridiculous. Thank you, Anna, for the daily heart me. Ronnie said, dude, I hear the substance is amazing. I'm glad to hear that, Ronnie, because I'm not a horror flick person. However, it seems like a thinking horror flick movie, so I feel like I would like that. Thank you, Dr. Shaz, for the gift. And also you said, don't pay it attention, all the rumors. Let's see what else is going on here. Lady Cherie said, it's funny because all this time she's been a rumor, but people won't stop looking at her posts. Yeah. And I mean, and that's why, like, there's a line in the song that I wrote where I said something about, you don't like me, but you watch me and you, like, you watch me and you, I forgot what I wrote the lyrics and I can't even remember what I wrote, but it's been a bit. But I when the music plays, I can sing with it. But yeah. Anyways, if folks want to check out that song, you can check out that song. Ronnie said it's a woman director and women leads and deal with body dysmorphia and so meaningful horror. Yes, that's why I think it captured my attention, Ronnie, and I wanted to check it out. And definitely, like, Demi, I feel like, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, because I always feel like there was always conversation on how to properly say her name, but I say Demi. Maybe that's wrong. But, you know, she's had her own thing. She had, like, some stuff done, and then whoever fixed whatever was done to her, like, props to that person. Because, like, when something was done to her face, I was like, what did they do to her? And then next thing I knew, she was, like, looking back to herself, I guess. I don't know. Dr. Shaz says, exactly, it's about privacy for me. Courtney says, happy Friday, ladies. Happy Friday, Courtney. And Philip says, when the fandom got kind of toxic, I start following everyone I trusted. So if they posted friends, there you go. Only I'd see. Okay, there you go, M. Phillips. Good to know. CC said, ignore the adjacent. She plays tricks. The pattern is pretty obvious by now. Believing her only drags down Luke. And I mean, honestly, I do think it is, like, it is an intentional choice to post when they post. Either one of them, right? Because it's a piggybacking on fame. Like, it's when a person doesn't possess it themselves, so they have to piggyback off those that do. Lady Cherie said people were also going crazy about the two guys with similar luggage, but it's not the same. Yes, Dr. Shaz looked into that and shared why it's not the same. And also visually, I never thought it looked the same. Leo's son said, oh, that's not going to happen. The wedding, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where people make up these stories. Like, there is nothing. I mean, yeah. Now, mind you, if it does happen, I will laugh so hard because that I just don't, I mean, I don't know. I feel like people are, they say we do fan fiction, they do fan fiction. Kristen said that was the dumb toxic account tagging his sister saying that. Wait, Kristen, what does that mean? Like, it was, the sister was saying that, or someone was tagging the sister to say that, to give it the impression that there was some validity to the statement. Ronnie said, what? Married? Laughing. Yeah. That's why I'm like, come on. And Philip says, there goes Phoebe with a USDA private bird. I don't mean to laugh. But I mean, come on, M. Phillips, like, it's comedy. It's comedy. I mean, I think, I don't know where people get this idea. But then at the same time, I guess I shouldn't laugh because I don't follow anything that this person does. So if this person is giving some sort of impression that people think that's actually a feasible, like is a feasible thought, then I guess I shouldn't laugh. But like, so as someone who does not follow anything that the person does, I like hearing that makes me laugh because like, she doesn't even exist on his page. You know what I mean? And Philip says, and I love you for it, Phoebe. Kristen said, any attention is good attention. I think for anyone who's attention starved, that is correct. I think that when you're not attention starved, any attention is not good attention. Like if you feel like you don't need the validation of people, like you don't want the attention. Like, why would you want any attention? The only people that want any attention are those that need the validation of people and also need to, like, I don't know. It is an attention starved thought to feel like any attention is good. Now, if you mean any attention is good attention in the sense of that it drives clicks and views to their pages, you are correct about that. So maybe that's what you mean by any attention is good attention, in the sense of driving traffic to your page. But like, I would definitely prefer, like, there are certain things when people dislike you that I would rather not have that attention. Like when people dislike me, like I would not want their attention. Like, keep it moving. Like, give your attention to someone else instead of expending your energy hating on me. That's why I don't go to her page, don't go to anything that she does, because I'm not going to expend the energy. But because I am talking about it right now, I'm expending some sort of energy. That's why I was like, I'm not going to say that I don't talk about adjacents, because obviously I am, and obviously I have. And so I don't want people to be like, you're being such a hypocrite because you say, but because I am being a hypocrite, because there was a point in time that I would not even venture to talk about it. But sometimes it's like, it's kind of like when I used to just keep quiet about certain things and kept it to myself. And then I did some of those videos where I was like, okay, like I do have a response. Because I do think that you can be a kind person and still address like things that you think is unhealthy and just be like, okay, I just got to own what I think and what I feel. And somebody's always going to hate on it. So if someone's always going to hate on it, might as well just say it. I mean, I put a caveat on that. I would never say anything to be malicious. However, sometimes my thoughts, if it's unpleasant, may feel like why would you have that feeling and why would you address those things? So I try to weigh a lot of like my thoughts of why I would want to address something or say something about an adjacent. Because I feel like sometimes adjacents get immediate like hatred, and I don't like that because they're a human being. But I, at the same time, also am not a fan when adjacents try to fuel people's dislike of them. Like it's one thing for people to dislike somebody because like they just dislike them and that's on them. But when people dislike somebody and then they fuel that, I'm like, is that only the fandom then? If you're fueling it, I don't know. Julie said, please write music for a living. Oh, that's so sweet, Julie. Thank you for saying that. I don't think I would ever want to do that because, one, I don't know how to do music. I'm just thankful that for the AI app, Donna, that allows to put music and vocals on my songs. Now, I choose what I want it to sound like. And obviously, it's my words, which I'm really, like, I love writing. But I love writing because it's not a living. Like, the minute it becomes a living, I think it loses some of the funness of it. Dr. Shaz says, that's what drives me nuts is that people even pay that stuff any attention. Kim says, I've missed a lot of the drama. Who said they were getting married or implied it? I don't know, Kim, but I've heard the rumblings and I laugh. Ronnie said, girl, yes, I want the name of that doc. Wait, what doc? Did I miss it? I wish I wasn't always behind in the comments because I always lose the context of when people say stuff. Ishra said Luke would have to be on another level of crazy to get married to her seriously. Oh, I shouldn't have read that, Ishra. Only because I try to avoid reading comments that are too, like, I hear what you're saying. How do I want to address this? I don't think he's marrying her this weekend or anything like that. I will say I don't know this person. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't actually, maybe you have a different meaning around another level of crazy, like meaning like the potential backlash or something, which is really not like, I always feel like, if Luke makes that decision, you obviously people will make their decisions on how to react to that. For me, I will just choose to be happy for him, because at the end of the day, I'm not the one going home to the person. And so if he's happy, like, I should be happy for him. It's not my deal. I followed him because I like his work and I think he's a great actor. I also think he's a great singer. But like, his personal life is like none of my business at the end of the day. I just think it's funny when people assume that marriage is happening this weekend. Like, I just feel like that's a desperate attempt to take away, to take attention away from what he chose to do yesterday and even today. The man broke his silence and did back-to-back posts. And neither of those posts gave the impression that it would be something that a significant other he's trying to marry would feel comfortable with. Because why would you put what you put on October 3rd if you're getting married the next day? I mean, just personal feeling. Like, other people can feel differently. Beefy221 said they like to keep drama stirred up. Caroline said, did you see the airport lounge discussion? I don't know what that means, Caroline, about the airport lounge discussion. I did see Dr. Shaz talking about which terminal would have to be for Cyprus versus which terminal Luke seemed to be at based off of the background. That's all I heard. But I don't know if there's any other extra things around that. Lady Cherie said, I don't understand how people think Luke would jump from not claiming her to marrying her. I think that's, for me, to Lady Cherie, is the biggest leap for me. Like, to go from not acknowledging the existence of the person on anything that you could claim her at, and then marrying her. Now, mind you, people are like, well, he might be doing it to protect her. I'm like, that ship sailed a long time ago. The minute, like, people called the Papgate happen, like, she already was known. And she was known prior to that with those diehard fans that were following Luke way before the rest. Like, when I say the rest of us, meaning myself, because I came at the tail end of this whole thing with the promo tour, right? So there were folks following Luke all before that knew that she existed. So the whole idea of, like, the reason he's keeping her off of anything that acknowledges her must be for her protection, I have a hard time believing. Caroline said, basically, if you fly British Airlines in EU, they don't do first class, they do business class. I don't know what's that. What am I supposed to get from that, Caroline? I really don't know. I'm sorry. What is that supposed to mean? Therefore, he'd be in the business class lounge. Okay. I still don't know what it's supposed to mean. Does that mean like he's on business? Is that what you're saying? It could be the laterals. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be other messages that will let me know. Kristen said that they are, and therefore not in the first class lounge, which is where he was pictured. Caroline said, and therefore not in the first class lounge, which is where he was pictured. Caroline, can you just get on here? I have no idea. I'm going to ask you, because I'm genuinely confused at what you're saying. So I'm going to ask you, because I'm genuinely confused at what you're saying. So I'm just send you an invite because I'm very confused at what you're saying. Sorry.
I'm not going to stay for long because I have to get my little tiny tornado to bed, and then I have to get ready for my live at 9 o'clock. But basically, there are 3 different lounges at Heathrow. 2 of them are first class lounges. 1 is a business class lounge. You can't access any of those lounges unless you have a ticket that would allow you to access it. So essentially, if you're flying, when you're flying within the EU, the British Airlines considers it domestic travel, right? As long as you're within the European Union. Cyprus is within the European Union. So because of the fact that you would be flying from somewhere in the EU to somewhere in the EU, they don't offer first class. They only offer business class. Therefore, you
Okay.
can only access the business class lounge. The photograph this morning of his luggage was in the first class lounge. Therefore, he would have had to be traveling to a different continent.
Oh, okay.
Does that
Okay,
make
got you. Because I
sense?
was like, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, got it, Caroline. Okay.
So
So,
it's highly unlikely that he would have been in the first class lounge because here's the thing, not everyone can get into business class lounge.
okay.
So and really it's interesting because my husband and I, we went to Europe a number of years ago, and just due to the fact, like, for those of us who live in the US, geographically speaking, it's such a large country that we may have first class if you're going from like one coast to the other, right? Because of the length of the flight. But the European nations are so much closer together and smaller that they're considering it like domestic travel. Like if you were to fly from New Jersey to New York, or if you were to fly from, Florida to Texas, where it's not that far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, they use smaller commuter planes to run those kind of routes because it's more frequent, right? People travel more. It's like how people travel domestically within the US going to Disney World or Disneyland, right? And so because of that, they're not going to have first class on the plane. And the only tickets that access first class are typically first class tickets. So, but the business class lounge is still relatively exclusive. Like if you're a celebrity traveling business class, not all of the general public is going to be in there. So he could easily go into the business class lounge and hang out and have privacy. But those chairs and tables are only found in the first class lounge of Terminal 5 at Heathrow Airport.
Oh, y'all are investigators. I will say that. And so the basic gist, like all of that, just means basically they didn't go to the same place, and there's no possibility of going to the same place because of the
I mean,
background.
what I would say is there's always a possibility that things could be different, but what I would say is it's highly unlikely. Oh, you know what? I think my mom just came. Let me jump off here because my mom
Okay.
just showed up.
Thanks
But
for the explanation,
anyway, I hope
Caroline.
that explanation helps. All right.
That's better because I needed some. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Okay, that was helpful because I had like no idea what she was trying to say. Because I'm sure that would be a lot to type. Okay, y'all, I am like so behind now. I'm at 99 plus new messages. Maybe I should go down to the bottom. Probably should. Like I always never know when I should go down to the bottom because I hate missing people's like messages. You know what I mean? I'm not going to the complete bottom. Let me see where is a good spot to restart. Oh, let me see. Oh, actually, oof, never mind. I think I didn't even need to scroll down that much. I'll actually still stay where I was before. Because even though it said 99 plus new messages, I think it was fine because there was a lot of people just going back and forth with each other. Okay. So Kristen was explaining that they were tagging Lauren so it could get to their friends and families. So that's another thing that I think is odd. Isn't it's Lauren is his sister, correct? Again, I don't know much of his private life, but I think I've heard Lauren to be the sister. If that's the case, then why would you need to get it to their friends and family when their friends and family already know? Like it's an awkward thing. Like I feel like it's a oh Oh, it was an account that was dragging Lucala creators, tagging their friends and family. Interesting. Very odd behavior, but okay. Kim said I only follow Lucala Pollen fans. Hi K girl. Um, see here. Hi Empress. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, just looking at. Omara says, I have been loving your songs. Yay, Omar. I'm glad to hear that. I've decided to try to, like, whenever I have something, to try to, like, put it in, like, post, like, put it as background music to post. Because what I was really surprised about was the Polaroids of You and Me, like, took a little time to get traction. And yet, my other song, that I did, called Unsaid Things, like that one already superseded the views over Polaroids of You and Me. And I feel like people love Polaroids of You and Me. Thank you, Dr. Shaz, for the gift. Like, so I was kind of interesting that people seem to like Unsaid Things, even more than Polaroids of You and Me, but maybe in a different way. Let's see here. Karina said, sorry, we are on our way to Chicago area. Hope tonight is a good experience for you. I'm hoping the same thing, Karina. But I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing my best friend, who I haven't seen since March, since she's been in the Philippines. And so I'm glad to have her back in my vicinity. Okay, Ishra said, yeah, that is what I meant. The backlash he would receive if he gets married to her now. Yeah. And it's hard, right? Because I feel like backlash is a choice, right? Like, I can understand people being disappointed or not liking it, but, like, backlash is a choice. Because at the end of the day, like, he is a grown man that has the right to make any decisions. Now, I get it. Like, fans can say the same thing. We're like, we have the right to then respond the way we want to respond, which I get. 100% I get. And yet, I feel like, you know, I hope that there isn't a backlash. I don't think a wedding is happening, but even if there was, I hope there's no backlash to Luke, because it's honestly, you know, choosing a life partner is a really serious deal. And it sucks if people hate or dislike your partner. You know, it complicates things. But if his immediate family like her, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Immediate family and close friends, right? Because careers come and go, but your life is like your life. Let's see here. Holt Fam said, so they want us to believe Luke is getting married to her this weekend and filming next week. Yeah, I mean, if it does, I mean, admittedly, it doesn't make sense to me timing wise. Like, there was all this other time that could have made more sense than when he has begun filming for Bridgerton. That feels like an odd decision. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's an odd option. Poker Kitten, this is actually quite an on-point statement. Someone getting married and their comment they make is BRB, be right back, wouldn't marry that too. That is actually quite a great observation. BRB does not give an idea that somebody's getting married, because usually then if you're getting married, you're going to go to a honeymoon. There's a little bit of an excitement. It's not like a BRB. That's a really good point, Poker Kitten. Meg said, why would they schedule a wedding during filming after a multi-month break? It'd be weird. I agree with that. It would just be the oddest timing ever. Kimmy McPhee 16 said, where did marriage come from? You know what? The internet. At the end of the day is the internet. Because people know that things get traction. So one person probably randomly threw it out there, and then people latched onto it and started talking about it. And that's how easy it is on the internet. Like, somebody could just throw something out and people were like, oh my word, did you hear? And it's like some random person said it, you know? Because they knew that it could be, if it's juicy enough, people will grab onto it and talk about it. And here we are talking about it. Dr. Shaz says, agreed, Phoebe, that October 3rd post was awesome. ADICIPLE said, and I think Luke is a kind man and wouldn't say anything to cause hurt, pain to Nick. I would agree with that simply because they have made choices even throughout this whole like drama filled stuff that's outside of them, not like between them, but outside of them. They've made very intentional choices to defend each other. Whenever there's been any inkling that somebody is thinking that they're feeling a negative way about each other, they try to nip that in the bud very quickly, like very, very quickly. Which they tend to stay silent about other rumors, but when it's a rumor that feels like they're is giving the appearance that either of them dislike each other, they usually try to nip that in the bud with a quickness. Caro said, I thought it was his house. I thought so too. I didn't realize it was a lounge until I saw Dr. Shaz's video. Pink Butterfly said, how would Dr. Shaz know this? Know the location, the background, and doing research, I suppose. I mean, Dr. Shaz is in the space. Probably could answer that question. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading a bunch of things. Kristen said we don't even know where he went. This is correct. Nobody knows where he went. I mean, Caroline seemed to say Terminal 5. I don't know if Terminal 5 gives a hint to anything. I'm sure it does, because you can only, like, there's a range of what that would mean. But again, y'all are investigators, because I would not know half of this stuff if people didn't tell me. FBI. Glorious _ girl 56 said the planes are too small for first class. Okay. This must be when Caroline was talking, because Maria said, thank you, Caroline. This makes me feel better. Betsy A said, been there, done that. Used to fly British Airways, so much for business. Ma'am Phillips says first class is sitting in a row that has 2 seats instead of 3. Is it frozen for folks? If anybody is a mod for me, can you tell me if I'm frozen? Have I been frozen this whole time? Can you pin a response to that question if anybody's in the space that is a mod? Shelly said, and he wouldn't be posting on social media if he was going with her. It's got to be for work. Okay, thanks, Ronnie. Just wanted to know. Maha said, do we know he was in the first class terminal based on the carpet in the pic? In Dr. Shaz's video, I think it was like the carpet, the background. I think it was a bunch of different things. Maybe I can't recall off the top of my head. Jasmine says, wait, I thought he was on set already. He may have been. This might be like, that's why he said BRB, maybe, because it's just a quick stop somewhere. And Philip says, just scroll down. Too bad. I scroll down and then I scroll back up, and Phillips. And Philip says, we've been talking amongst ourselves, really. Yeah, that's what I found out, really. Because when I scrolled down, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of ads here. I think I could actually read the ones that don't have ads. Hi, Genevieve. Kimmy McPhee 16 said, he is with the guys from Laterals. I'm telling you, he is doing some work. I mean, if he is, exciting. I would love him to be doing some work. I'm sure he would be loving to doing some work. Okay, so people did confirm Lauren is Luke's sister. The thing is, I'm sure I knew that. It's just not something that I retain sometimes. Robin said, maybe BRB is Luke referring to the Bridgerton ride is back. That's cute. Pink Butterfly said that's weird that they don't know these people in real life. It was crossing the boundary line. You mean noticing where they're at? I mean, I definitely think it's investigative work. That all of that is discoverable. I mean, I always think about that whenever I choose to share anything, to be honest, because the minute you share anything publicly, anyone technically could discover, like, by just looking at your background. So it's like, unless you have a completely dark background around you, people can definitely find you. That's a scary, like, that's scary to think about. With that said, I think it's just, I mean, it's a great conversation to have. It's like, how much research is good? Like, when does it cross the line? When does it cross any boundaries? I mean, it's definitely a good conversation to have. And I think it's something that everybody tries to, like, evaluate as they're discussing things like this. Ishra said, would love to see Luke in more projects. So if he's going for work, that is the best news. I agree. That would be fantastic. Kristen said, I need Luke here on Broadway. He'd be amazing. I love his voice so much. Shelly said, GC was a bit silly today. Oh, group chat. Okay, I was like, what's GC? Okay, group chat. Okay. Hey, Melissa. Av said, I think it's because there's a strong hook with unsaid things. Okay. Yeah, because I do love unsaid things. It surprised me that it took a really long time for Polaroids of You and Me to get the amount of views that he's gotten so far. But, like, it took, like, a millisecond. I feel like, in comparison to how many days Polaroids of You and Me was out before it hit even just over 10K. Again, I'm a smaller account, so I don't typically expect most of my stuff to hit 10K. So whenever I do, it's like, yay, so yeah. But the last time I checked with unsaid things, it was like maybe at like over 13K, which is, again, not that large in comparison to larger accounts. But for me, it's like, especially if for something that is like my own, like, song, is like meaningful to me. Like, every view on a song that I've written actually is very meaningful to me, because it's not just another person's song, it's mine. You know what I mean? Thank you for the gift, Jazzy21. Bridgerton Swan said, I hear Polaroids of You and Me in my head all the time. Oh, that's awesome. Ida Pita said, sorry, missed. What are you watching tonight? I'm watching The Substance with Demi Moore. Ronnie said, yeah, people need to chill. He needs to live his life. I mean, that's all he can do. And actually, there's that other song that I wrote, right? For Luke, called You Can't Please Everyone. Because it's like, as a recovering people pleaser, I'm telling you, like, there's no joy in trying to please everybody. So he's got to, when he has to choose between people he knows and people he doesn't know, he's got to choose people he knows. He's got to choose the people he knows that love him. And people can have different opinions about whether or not, certain people are good for him or all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, like, as a grown man, he has to make that decision for himself. Mo Lambert, thank you for your daily heartbeat. Ronnie said, no, getting people don't want to be told what to do, so they shouldn't either. I'm not sure. I'm probably misreading that. I have no idea. Like, sometimes my brain, slowly. Nish says, can we try not panicking every time an adjacent posts? As long as we do, she's going to continue. I mean, honestly, I agree. That and henceforth the reason I'm glad I don't actually like look at her stuff. Ronnie said, I was missing punctuations. Don't worry, LOL. Buffy says, it would be odd to marry someone you never claimed as your girlfriend. Yeah, or at least never claimed publicly, right? So, I mean, I don't know if he claimed her privately, but he's never claimed her publicly. And people can say, well, what about the Pat Gate and all that stuff? Look at all the things that came out at that time. There was not one single quote from him stating that was the case. It was all, those articles had to say rumored, because they never got a quote from him. Veronica said no backlash will be necessary because it ain't happening. She is not his partner. We have to read the signs that they're giving us. I mean, I hear you, Veronica. And I think there are folks that are choosing to read the signs, and depending on what people, I guess, are leaning towards, they have different takes on what those signs are really saying. Ab said maybe he is promoting Rimowa. And if he is, I don't know if that's how you say it. And if he isn't, he is showing off. I will tell you, I did check out how much those luggage was. I know I heard that it was a gift for him, but like if people wanted to get it, it's like 1,600, like for both of those things, like not like each. I feel like with what I looked up, I was like, that's spendy for luggage. But yeah. Retired teacher said he only shares business stuff, not personal stuff. He keeps his personal stuff private. I hear that, retired teacher. But he has chosen to share some personal stuff on there. And so even when he shared anything from the Heroes GQ event, he chose to share something private after Heroes GQ event. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are times that he does give a wink, wink, nod, nod to something. But, you know, I don't know. Kimmy McPhee 16 said that the adjacent was at a dancing event all week, not planning a wedding. Beefy 221 said, why do I say always Beefy? Sorry, Beffy 221 said, I really feel like with all the drama, he would have claimed her publicly, in my opinion. I mean, people can have different takes on that too. Like sometimes it's like, I think a case could be made for either choice, you know? So I don't know. I think it made more sense for just him to claim publicly. But there's cases to be made why he wouldn't have, even if, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's not necessarily like an automatic choice that made sense. Meg says, yes, he needs to be able to live his life in peace. And we ultimately don't actually know him, Nick, or any of the adjacents or the adjacent. Hey, Alicia. Veronica said that young woman has patterns and she continues to follow them. It seems a waste of time to even discuss this. I hear that, Veronica. Ronnie, have fun at the movie. Gotta go make din. Okay, enjoy your dinner, Ronnie. I'm probably gonna have like a margarita pizza on cauliflower crust at the Cinnabar because I really love cauliflower crust pizza. It's just so crispy. It tastes better to me than regular crust. But no, I hear your frustration, Veronica, and as a person that doesn't typically try to center it, I think the reason I even brought it up was because, you know, it's just on my brain. That's the only reason. It's on my mind, and I guess a part of me is like tired of sometimes like censoring myself when I do have thoughts. Like I used to say to people, when I made the rule for a really long time that I wasn't going to talk about adjacents, it wasn't because I never wanted to talk about adjacent conversation. It was because the chats would become unruly sometimes. It would become like an unhealthy like space. And so like I was just like, is there a way to have these conversations where people don't like forget her humanity or forget any of the adjacents' humanity, you know, when discussing stuff. It's like, yeah, so it's tough. Let's see. Now I only have 7 minutes left, so I will scroll down just in case there's something a little bit. I'm just gonna scroll, maybe a little bit, I don't know. Actually, maybe. I always think I should scroll, but I don't really actually need to. Okay, I didn't need to. Genevieve, I hopefully you heard the answer about who they thought he was marrying. They're saying that he's marrying. The rumor that went around was the adjacent. So, but obviously not. I mean, I shouldn't say obviously not. The weekend isn't over or hasn't even started. So, unless it has over there, how ahead are you? our folks over there. Um, let's see. Hey, Tanya. Let's see here. Marcy P said Luke did not marry a previous girlfriend of 4 years, but would get married to a girl he barely knows. Have you heard about the taxi cab theory? I mean, sometimes it's not about the amount of time somebody knows somebody. Like, if somebody knows, like, it's possible. Now, do I think that he is? I do not think that he is marrying her. I don't think that's happening over the weekend. I think this is some random rumor that was started by someone seeing if it would get picked up by the fandom, and it did. And so here we are talking about something that probably has no validity whatsoever, but you know, here we are. With that said, I don't think it's about the time. I've seen people who have dated somebody for decades, and it just wasn't the right. If it's not the right person, it's not the right person, and you know, or it's just the wrong timing or the wrong whatever. There's so many reasons why somebody doesn't marry somebody who they've dated for a really long time and then immediately marry somebody that they barely seem to know. So it happens. Hey, Tam. Nish says we should just be chilling on the cruise ship, guys. So let's see here. Okay, folks, just confirmed that I was not frozen. Tanya said, I'm not freaking out over anything. I'm just chilling here. Let's see here. Hi, Marie. All right. S. Allen 1 said, I doubt he's posting about Nick yesterday, but marrying someone else in this weekend. This weekend, fake news. I agree. Makes no sense. Wombat 6 said, what is Laterals? I don't know. I know he's done work with them. I don't know if it's a magazine or... Does anybody know what the Laterals are? Is it a magazine? Isabella said maybe still doing his voiceover. Possibly. Yeah. S. Allen 1 said, if he posted, he's not concerned about people seeing his background. Oh, because somebody said it was an intrusive thing, crossing the boundaries to notice the background and make note of it. I mean, you know, like I think that people actually make careers, like real, and I mean, like genuinely, like life-saving careers. Like sometimes I think about what Dr. Shaz does, and it comes down to like, what is a person's motivation? And I don't think Dr. Shaz ever has any ill motives. I think she likes details. She loves looking at details. It's never to be intrusive or crossing boundaries or things of that nature. It's just if you're giving public information and it can be publicly found, you know, and she can see like the patterns or the, like she'll notice that and then she'll condense it for public not public consumption, but friend consumption, right? And so, I mean, when that person said that, I understood the concern, but I disagreed with the assessment because I don't think that Dr. Shaz crossed any lines in regards to looking at anything that is private. She was looking at things that are public. So public things, and that's why it's scary, right? Because all of us have there's websites that probably have everybody's information, right? And if you don't know that your information is easily found, you don't know how to stop it, right? So there's a lot of free sites that provide things like that. That's really scary. And so you have to sometimes request them, please take my information off or whatever it might be. That's the difficulty. That's why people always suggest you should Google yourself at all times, just to see what comes up for you, because you might be genuinely surprised at how much information comes up for you. That's always the concern. And I think you always want to make sure, when it comes down to it, yeah, it's I don't know. I think anytime more information is being found is always scary. I don't know. I hear the person's concern, and yet I just don't think it's necessarily what was happening in the evaluation of the space. Because an airport is an airport. You're going to see airport stuff. So it's not like it was his home. But even if it was his home, the only way a person would have known that is if he chose to share something beforehand that gave that impression. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm just saying, like, I hear the concern, and yet I don't know if that was what was happening in that moment. I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if I'm making sense. Anyways, Meg said Luke posted knowing we would go down a rabbit hole. He wanted to be talked about, or he wouldn't post. I mean, yes and no. I mean, sometimes people just want to post. I don't think, I mean, but at the same time, do I think that Luke understands at this point that people are very, like, FBI-ish? I think he does, you know? And, I mean, but honestly, like, it's amazing what people do find. Because, again, I am not a natural FBI person. I don't look for things. But I love reading what other people find because I think it's intriguing, because literally, like, that, those are jobs that people have. Like, people save lives sometimes because they notice these things that other people would not notice. I'm not saying that, like, people are saving lives right at this moment, but I'm just saying that that's a skill set that I have a great deal of respect for, because it's not a skill set that everybody has, and literally can be used on so many different fields that genuinely can save people's lives. Just saying. Hopefully people hear that for what I'm saying and not misconstrue it or take it out of context. Rachilla said, what's the consensus? Is he still with his adjacent? Just saw she posted she took of a doc. I don't know what the consensus in regards to whether or not he's with her, but I think the consensus is he's not currently with her physically, that he is somewhere else. Mel said, ladies, it's all right. Luke is coming to visit me. JK. XX. I love the XX you put on there. Rachilla said, and people are saying they're traveling to Cyprus. Again, Dr. Shaz did a really great video to explain why that's probably very unlikely. Jazzy21, hey. Simone 14 says, I think we just need to keep up the positive vibes and he comes around. I love it. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh my word. Okay, I'm gonna just finish up hopefully the remaining chats, and then I'm gonna go. Amy said, did you see he had scuffs on the one piece? Might as well just use the cheap stuff, LOL. Well, the thing is, it was gifted, I heard. So even though it's super expensive, like, hey, it's a gift, it's a gift. I would love to use it, you know? Veronica said maybe Luke gifted luggage to Nick because he's planning on a few trips for them in the next while. Maybe. Possibility. Courtney said, all I gotta say, it's been 17 hours and he said BRB. It's been long enough to give us an update, Lukey. Mo Lambert said, I'm just happy he posted in stories. Tanya, what movie am I going to? I'm going to watch Substance. Genevieve says, has he gotten any weird backlash for these posts? He couldn't even comment without getting hate. Hopefully not. Hopefully no backlash, but it happens. And I mean, it's hard too because you don't necessarily know what's causing the backlash. I don't think anything he posted should cause a backlash. It's only the narratives people attach to the post that could potentially create backlash, right? Like when people assume it means one thing or another that gets them upset when there might not be any proof whatsoever that that's what the post is about. Courtney said, it is good, the pizza. Yes, cauliflower crust is so good to me. Miss Camille Curtis says, hi. K-Girl said, by the way, really love the new song. Thank you, K-Girl. Genevieve says, no one ever answers me, LOL. What do you mean, Genevieve? No one ever answers you? Answers you where? How? Veronica said, Phoebe, I was trying to be nice by calling her a young lady instead of the things in my head. Well, thank you for showing restraint, Veronica. I appreciate that. Hi, Jenny. Margot, it says, any news? Not really. Not since the BRB post. Cindy says, it's annoying she keeps doing this and people fall for it. I mean, I don't know if people fall for it more than, well, I guess people do fall for it every single time. I guess there are people that fall for it. I think more so it's probably like it still generates conversation. Henceforth, the song that I wrote, Attention Starved, right? Like I do think that people play into it, right? And so she gets the attention that she's starving for. And then I will own this too. Like, I don't know if she thinks she's attention starved. So I can't even say that, because then people are like, how do you know she's attention starved? What I will say is I don't know if she's attention starved. I will say the behavior appears to be attention starved. So, because I can only speak to behavior, not intention. And I don't know what her intention is. More than I can say that the repeated behavior gives the impression that she is attention starved. Margot said it's Luke with Nicola. There's no proof one way or the other that he is. Okay, so The Laterals is a magazine. Okay. Jennifer said, I stayed off social media today. Got too much for me. Makes sense, Jennifer. Do what's right for you. Miss Camille Curtis says magazine, maybe only online now. Okay. Simone 14 said maybe eating pasta with his fave. Possible. Let's see. Oh, it's 4:35. I gotta go. Let me see. So I'm so sorry, folks, that I may not have gotten to read all of your messages. I really do appreciate your time. I hope you have a great night. And it sounds like Caroline is having a live. She said 9 Pacific Standard Time. Wait, is that 6 here then? Anyways, if y'all are looking for a live, I'm sure there's lives going on all the time. So I appreciate you giving me any of your time, because I know you have plenty of choices of where to go. So, okay, have a great one. Bye.